Hi, I'm Brian, and this is Wax Trash Treasures. I'm here because I want to share with you my love of baseball cards and football cards, especially those from the mid-1980s to the early 1990s, the peak of the junk wax era. This is a time when many manufacturers were making way too many cards. The result was that the hobby was cheap and accessible to just about everybody. This had a downside, though. The value of cards was pretty close to zero. But every now and again, you can find a card that has value, a card that matters either monetarily or just emotionally. And that's what we're going to try to do today. So, enough talk. Let's get to it. So for today's cards, we're going to be looking at 1990 Donruss Baseball. I have here an unopened, though apparently damaged when someone was pulling it out of the case, wax box of cards here. You'll see there's 36 packs in the box. There are 15 cards per pack, so we're looking at something on the order of 480 cards. That's not enough to build out the whole set. The set is 660 cards. It's important to note that we see a feature, not a bug, of the wax trash era here, and that is this incredibly garish, bright red design on the border. Donruss was competing with dozens of other card manufacturers at the time. They were making something that, frankly, by modern standards is pretty ugly, and the reason for that is that they needed to catch your eye. They needed you to look at their cards instead of Score or Fleer or Topps or Bowman or any of the other manufacturers that were active in the era. This set also includes inserts from the Diamond Kings set. The Diamond Kings are, of course, a set that persists through Donruss cards today. You'll find them in football. They're called Gridiron Kings, for example, in modern cards as well. This set also has, of course, the Donruss rated rookie cards. That's another trend that persists through Donruss cards today. Interestingly enough, the spatter pattern here on the card borders is different for wax pack version of the cards versus the complete set versions that Donruss would print and sell in a whole piece. The reason for that is that it enables you to tell the difference between which one is a wax card and which one is a set card. There were countless errors in this set. There were flipped negatives. Actually, one of the most valuable cards in the set is caused by a flipped negative. There were printing errors. There were left out issues. The Nolan Ryan card, the King of Kings card that was released as part of this series, actually has 3 different versions because of all of the errors that were produced in this card. Those error cards do add value. These cards are, for the most part, not worth very much, but of course, you can always try to find some good chase cards. Some of the big names that we see in this series are, of course, Ken Griffey Jr., as well as Sammy Sosa, Nolan Ryan, Mark McGwire, Bo Jackson, Kirby Puckett, Cal Ripken Jr. There are truly some great names here in this set, and there's some great cards worth finding. So, without further ado, let's get to it. These cards have been sealed since 1990. I'm not entirely certain exactly what I'm going to find in here. So here you've got the wax packs themselves. You'll see they're very bright and garish, again designed to draw your attention as much as anything else. These aren't a top sealed pack. These are a fold-over pack, similar to other wax packs of the era. Oh, and we'll start with our very first chase card. Look at that. Well done, us. So here is Ken Griffey Jr.'s Diamond Kings card. You can see it's got a little bit of damage here to the card itself. Because these are sealed, I can only assume that this is a packing error, which of course harms the value, but it's a very nice card. You've got Ken Griffey Jr. with his beautiful follow-through on his swing, his sort of a coy smile here, kind of a Mona Lisa kind of job. Normally he had a very bright smile that was featured on a lot of his cards because he was just such a joyous player. Now, I'm not going to bother to wrap this one because it's not in great shape. You can see the corner is damaged here as well. But I will place it sort of leaning up against the back so we can just sort of keep an eye on it. There is also a set of puzzle pieces. You could build an entire picture of Carl Yastrzemski with these cards. So we'll just set that aside. I have never completed the Carl Yastrzemski puzzle. I've never really seen a need to. So let's go through our players. We got Rick Leach, Gary Carter, great catcher, Greg Jeffrey. Malarkey, Otis Nixon, who always looked old. Larry Walker, here's actually one of our interesting chase cards. Again, damage to the card, causing its value to be, reduced even beyond what it would be. But still, this is Larry Walker's first appearance on a Major League Baseball card, if memory serves. So congratulations to Larry. There's Ellis Burks, Louis Frazier, Julio Franco, an all-star card, Clay Parker, Bob Nepper, and here's our Don Paul card, which I'm just going to sort of set aside to be recycled. Save the planet. Here's Robbie Alomar, again, paper stuck to the back of the card. Puzzle piece. Ken Phelps, Rick Rona, Vaughn Hayes, Billy Ripken with a bat that does not say anything foul on it. That's a darn shame. Ellis Burks, Dave Johnson, Terry Puel, Ricky Henderson. That's just a great action shot right there of Ricky about to take a swing. Here's Deion Sanders. Here's another great card. This is also Deion's rookie card. Dickie Thon, Kent Herbeck, who won a World Series, I believe, in '87 with the Twins and would go on to win another one as well. Jim Eisenreich, Luis Quinones. Here we go, Ken Griffey Jr. This is another great card. This one is looking very sharp. It's a nice even cut. Doesn't appear to have any damage. The corners all look really great. The back looks good too. This is really one of the top line cards from this set. This is one that's absolutely worth having and worth collecting. I'm trying to see if that is a photo error, a print error here on his shoulder. Looks like it might be an inking error here, so reducing the value of the card, but that's okay. It's a nice looking card. And, you know, again, Ken Griffey Jr., not really smiling, although, again, he was known as a very smiley kind of player. He seemed to really enjoy his job as a baseball player, so it's kind of weird to get him looking so serious there. Holman, Bobby Thigpen, Mark Lemke, Steve Wilson. Here's a better version of the Ken Griffey Jr. Diamond Kings. Let's see if we can take a look at this. Again, the cut job here is much straighter than that Bo Jackson card, but still a little bit tilted. It looks like it sort of slants a little bit to the right as we go towards the bottom. Then on the back of the card, the back cut is, again, imperfect. It is imperfect, sort of scaled a little bit to the right, a little bit more on the right than the left, and also to the bottom, looks like. Nonetheless, this is a much better example than the first one we got, so I will happily celebrate that. Sorry, Larry. Mike Jeffcoat, Jeff Ballard, Ron Karkovis, and Doug Strange. Rob Murphy, Sammy Sosa's rookie card. This is a pretty good one. Let's hang on to this and be glad for it. Move you guys. Sorry. Sammy is more important. Commissioner card. This is actually a fun little thing. The only non-player in the set. And this is a retrospective of his life because, of course, he passed away the season before these cards were produced. Gino Petralli, Glenn Davis, Mark McGwire. Here's one of those chase cards. Walt Terrell, Carmen Castillo, and Steve Lake. This has just been a lot of fun to pull all of these really great names from the era. Scott. Dennis Eckersley, the guy who is credited with inventing the term walk-off home run, in that he threw the pitch and they hit it and then he walked off. Hal Morris, Tommy Herr, Diamond Kings, Mike Smithson, Diamond Kings checklist again. Here's Bo Jackson's base card. This is looking pretty sharp. This is a nice card. Good cut, nice and even. This does not display the ink error on the back with the, what would be, if you look here, you see the period after ink leaf incorporated. The error that is the most common is to have that period missing. Here's Tony Gwynn, Felix Fermin, Jose Gonzalez. Juan Gonzalez. Now, this is one of the interesting cards. We're going to come back to this here in just a second. Rich Gedman, Jeff Reed, Bill Buckner, Greg Swindell, Joel Shiner, Jeff Robinson, and Jay Howell. This is the mirror of probably the most valuable card in this entire set. And the reason for that is there was a version of this card, Juan Gon, that featured his negative having been flipped. So instead of reading number 19, it read, I guess, G1, or whatever the opposite of G is, where it looked as if he was batting from the other side of the plate. The numerals were mixed up. Of course, they were in mirror image. Those are very difficult to find, and those do have a great deal of value. But as it stands, this is still a nice-looking card. It's a great cut. Not perfect, of course, but not bad. And then on the back, it looks good as well. Good corners, good sharp edges. It'd be nice if I'd gotten the other one too, but that's really okay. Juan Gon, really one of the great players of the late 90s and early 2000s as well. Well, this has been great. It's been a lot of fun. We got a lot of great cards here. I'm going to adjust the camera so you can see. Look, we've got Sammy, a couple of Ken Griffeys, Bart Giamatti, a couple of Dion's, a couple of Bo's. We got Juan, Mark McGwire, Kirby Puckett. It's been a great set of cards to come out here. And, of course, Oil Can Void. Well, that was a lot of fun. This is my first time buying a wax box of the 1990 Donruss cards. I bought a few packs when I was a kid, but I don't think I'd ever really been exposed to them quite the way I was today. Obviously, it was imperfect, something that comes with buying old cards. It happens. It's not the end of the world, but we had some great pulls anyway. We had some great Griffeys. We had the Sosa. We had a couple of Bo Jacksons. This was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad I had the chance to do it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be making more of these, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks so much.